Hello and welcome. We're going to jump right in and demystify the brand new international standard that's about to change the game for AI, ISO 42001. Now, if you're a CIO, this is for you. This is the framework you've been waiting for to help you navigate the future of artificial intelligence. Let's get to it.
Look, every technology leader out there is feeling this exact pressure, right? On one hand, you've got to deploy AI. You have to drive innovation and stay competitive. But on the other hand, these systems are bringing in a whole new world of ethical, compliance, and frankly, reputational risks that most organizations are only just starting to wrap their heads around. So here's what we're going to cover in the next few minutes. We'll start with the governance gap AI has created, introduce ISO 42001 as a surprisingly familiar solution, and then walk through how it governs the entire AI lifecycle. And finally, we'll show how it turns risk management from a headache into a real strategic advantage.
All right, so let's start with the heart of the problem. AI is scaling way faster than our ability to govern it, and that's creating this huge gap between all the innovation we're seeing and the oversight we need.
Just think about that number for a second. 72%. Nearly 3/4 of organizations are already in the AI game, but without a formal playbook, a lot of them are kind of flying blind. And this isn't just some tech issue. It's a massive business risk that can blow up into biased outcomes, huge regulatory fines, and a total loss of customer trust.
So how do we fix this? How do we close that gap? Well, the good news is we don't have to start from scratch and reinvent the wheel. The solution actually comes in a format that, well, if you're familiar with enterprise standards, you're going to recognize it immediately.
And here it is, ISO 42001. This is the world's first certifiable standard for what's called an AI management system, or AIMS. Its whole reason for being is to give you a structured, repeatable framework to make sure your AI systems are managed responsibly, from the very top all the way down.
Now, this is the slide that should make every CIO breathe a little easier, because it's so familiar. If you've been through an ISO 27001 implementation for info security, you already speak the language of ISO 42001. It's the same high-level structure, the same risk-based foundation, and the same plan, do, check, act cycle. This means you can integrate it into what you're already doing, not rip and replace.
And here's a really crucial point. AI governance is not a one-time thing you do at deployment. ISO 42001 applies a structured process across the entire life of an AI system. Let's see what that actually looks like. So this is the AI lifecycle, straight from the ISO 22980 standard. It gives you concrete, tangible stages to apply governance. From the very beginning, when you're just figuring out what you want to do, all the way to pulling the plug on it securely. You're not just trying to manage some mysterious black box. You're managing a clear process with defined checkpoints for risk and control.
Okay, let's get into the mechanics of risk. How does this standard actually help you wrangle the unique threats that AI brings to the table? Well, it uses a really smart, layered approach.
See, the standard wasn't designed to throw out all the great risk management work you're probably already doing. Instead, it's designed to be the umbrella, the top-level governance structure that organizes everything and gives purpose to your existing frameworks and tools. It creates one cohesive strategy.
And this just illustrates that structure perfectly. Think of it like a pyramid. At the very top, you've got ISO 42001 setting the strategy and the what. In the middle, you plug in proven frameworks like the NIST AI Risk Management Framework to actually assess those risks. And then down at the base, your tech teams get their hands dirty using threat modeling tools to find specific vulnerabilities in the actual code and data.
And if you're not familiar with it, threat modeling is basically a proactive way of thinking like an attacker. Before there's ever a breach, you analyze your own system to find all the weak spots. Things like prompt injection vulnerabilities or data poisoning risks that a high-level assessment just isn't going to catch.
Let's make this super practical. Using a common model like Stride, we can map these threats directly to the lifecycle. So for example, the risk of tampering through a malicious prompt injection, that's a huge concern during the design and development stage. The risk of information disclosure, where your model accidentally leaks sensitive company data, that's something you have to worry about every second it's in operation. This is how you connect a board-level policy to a specific line of code.
Okay, so you've found your risks. Now what? How do you actually fix them? This is where the standard gets really practical, giving you a whole catalog of controls to mitigate those risks.
NXA is really the tactical heart of ISO 42001. It's a big list of controls that you can put into place. And a really fundamental piece of this is just getting a handle on all the different resources that make up your AI system. I mean, you can't protect what you don't even know you have, right?
And the critical thing here is that resources is way more than just servers and software. It's about your data. Where did it come from? Is it clean? Is it biased? It's about the specific models and algorithms you're using. And maybe most importantly, it's about your people. Do they have the right skills? Are their roles and responsibilities for governing this stuff crystal clear?
And this slide is where it all comes together. You can literally draw a straight line from a risk you identified in a specific lifecycle stage to the exact controls in Annex A that are designed to fix it. So, that risk of tampering during development, it's addressed by controls for things like system documentation and responsible development processes. It creates a clear, logical, and auditable trail from problem to solution.
All right, let's wrap this up by taking a step back. Because this whole thing isn't just about avoiding problems and checking boxes. It's about building a real, tangible, strategic asset for your business.
This quote just nails it. Trust doesn't happen by accident. You have to engineer it. It's the end result of having a formal governance system like ISO 42001, applying those structured risk methodologies, and doing that deep technical analysis. When you do all that, trust becomes your key differentiator.
And look, if building a competitive advantage isn't quite enough motivation, the regulators are giving us another reason. With powerful new laws coming online like the EU AI Act, failing to govern your AI is quickly shifting from a theoretical risk to a very real, very painful financial liability.
And this is the number every CIO, CEO, and board member needs to see: 7%. For the most serious violations, we're talking about fines up to 35 million euros or 7% of your global turnover, whichever is higher. All of a sudden, investing in a solid governance framework doesn't look like a cost anymore. It looks like a pretty smart insurance policy.
So I'll just leave you with this final question. You can look at AI governance as a cost center, a compliance checkbox you just have to tick. Or you can see it for what it really is, a strategic framework for building trustworthy, resilient AI that your customers will choose over the competition every single time. The choice is yours.